Hello, everyone. Welcome to this evening's program. My name is Mark Sustic. I'm the Executive Director of Young Tradition Vermont. Thank you for being here, especially to the showcase participants you'll be seeing and hearing shortly. There's two people I want to be sure you know about. Yazi Zeichner, who's you should be able to see now. She's the festival manager and also the board president for Young Tradition Vermont. And you'll be hearing from her shortly. Oliver Scanlon, who's operating the video stuff. There he is. Hello, Oliver. Thanks for being there. And both Yazi and Oliver are members of the board of directors, so that's really great to have them here. And anyway, so that's great. Both of them are really essential to making this festival happen and a lot of other things. And particularly this year in this method, this way. So thanks to you both for being here. Yazi, I'll turn it over to you here and come back and talk a little bit about Young Tradition Vermont.
Sure, thanks, Mark. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Mentor Student Showcase part of Young Tradition Festival. This festival for the past couple of years has been a week-long event with evening concerts from performers from all around the world, Canada, across the United States, different trad musicians who are really amazing. And this year, because of COVID and we're online, we're just back to a weekend format. And I love all parts of this festival, but the Mentor Student Showcase is usually this extravaganza that goes on late into the night with incredible performances from mentors and students and family bands, and it's really amazing. And that's actually the way that I got roped into YTV world, was through this event. I performed as a teenager with my siblings and with some mentors, and so this event is special, near and dear to my heart. So you'll see a whole bunch of different acts, and maybe some new ones and maybe some familiar ones that you've seen many times around in the community. Another thing that'll be happening at this concert is that we will announce the winners of the Young Tradition contest. We had the finals earlier today, where the 10 finalists out of the 33 amazing musicians who submitted videos, the 10 finalists, we played their videos. We had 2 rounds of voters, the board members, and then some other selected judges voting on the videos, and we'll announce the top 3 winners of the contest later on in the program tonight. So we will start off our program with Sarah Hotchkiss and some of her students, and she gives an introduction of what she is going to do and a little bit about herself in her video. So I will let her speak for herself. Here we go.
It has become my spring ritual to use this teacher-student showcase as an opportunity to feature the students that I am transitioning from my feeder program into a new studio. When they reach a certain skill level, and when I feel they have started to become one with their instrument, I send them off to one of the many very capable teachers in the area in order for them to spread their wings and be inspired anew. I am eternally grateful to Young Tradition Vermont for providing so many wonderful opportunities for my young students to participate in, which create important stepping stones for their musical development and more. So, this spring, it was quite an emotional and raw experience for me to have Anna and Abe showing up in my front yard to make this music together and to try to be in sync for real for the first time after so many long months of having lessons through a screen. We decided that if we're going to go to this trouble to set up an outdoor rehearsal, we should at least share it with the neighborhood, so you'll hear dogs barking, cars going by, planes overhead, and some children asking questions as they walk by and see what we are doing. It was truly a Winooski experience, and we hope you'll enjoy the aesthetic of that mixed in with our wonderful musical moment together.
All right, that was great. Anna, Abe, Sarah Hotchkiss, thank you so much. One of the challenges, it occurs to me in watching that we have during this virus and this pandemic is the entry level stuff, the place where you can enter this trad music scene and do things with other people and that sort of thing. Sarah keeps it up not all the time, and particularly important during this pandemic time. So thank you for sending that video in. So a couple of things before I mention the next set, which will be Brian Perkins. Just a few words. So the Young Tradition Vermont is a nonprofit organization that uses trad music and dance to ensure that young people are inspired, that they have a chance to learn about the music, they have a chance to perform it, and they have a chance to use what they know and what they're inspired about to serve their communities. We have approximately 30 programs. This Young Tradition Festival has several of those programs within it. The contest that we did earlier and this showcase. The showcase has really been around as long as the organization has, and now it's on this first Saturday in May. And there's more info about Young Tradition Vermont on its Facebook page, which some of you would be watching now. Just look for Young Tradition Vermont and you'll find it. And we also have a website, youngtraditionvermont.org. And I hope that you'll take a look at that. I also want to mention that we have some sponsors that we're going to be chattering about as we go through the rest of the day. I mean, the rest of the evening. And those folks are really important and they help make this possible, but also contributions are important. And we have a PayPal address. I'll give you paypal.me/YT Vermont. It's paypal.me/YT Vermont. And maybe I'll give you the mailing address if you prefer that, or you can leave something in the comments if you'd like more specific information about an address or something. Thanks for being here. So next up, we've got Brian Perkins. Sarah and Brian really are pillars in the community for making sure that young people have a chance at playing trad music and doing the things that they like to do. Brian's going to do a tune with some students called Burlington Bulgar. It's a Bessarabian tune associated with Burlington's historic Jewish community, which Brian has done amazing work in discovering and reviving and keeping alive. Featured on cornet are Violet McGrath and Ty Caswell McCausland, both 6 years old. They've been students of Brian's for about 6 months. Also included is fifth grader Griffin Swift Herzog on guitar, a student of Brian's for about a year. And I happen to notice that Brian's daughter is in this video as well, Ella Statz. So here we go, Brian Perkins and students.
Hello, my name is Brian Perkins. I teach music in the Old North End of Burlington, and I teach a number of instruments in a traditional style, and I teach the traditions associated with the various communities that have made their home in the Old North End. So it's been a really tough year for music students and for music teachers, but we've made the best of it, and it's really important as we come out of this pandemic and people begin to express themselves publicly, that young people have a major role in being the voice of their community and expressing the traditional music that has nurtured and supported their community and will continue to do so. So this year I was really excited to start two cornet students, Violet McGrath and Ty Caswell McCausland, both 6 years old, and they've started on cornet. And so we decided the appropriate tune to play with them was a tune associated with the Jewish community of the Old North End, a Bulgar. And the Bulgar will be accompanied by Violet and Ty on the cornet. Also playing will be a much more accomplished student, Griffin Swift Herzog, who plays a number of instruments very well, and sings quite well as well. But we decided that his best role in this was to play a really solid basic bass line, because that is such an incredible skill to have. And so Griffin is playing the bass with all the casual perfection that is associated with the really good bass players of our community. Also helping us out is Ella Statz, a longtime student and music maker who's now living on the West Coast in Portland, Oregon, but she came back home and joined us on the guitar. So here is the Burlington Bulgar.
That was wonderful to see Brian and his students. Brian does such a good job of bringing in students who are just starting and getting them really interested in the music, really roped into it. It's great to see that in this form, in this concert. Our next teacher and student duo will be Romy Munkres, who's a multi-instrumentalist who will be heading off to University of Prince Edward Island in the fall. And they've been involved with YTV for a number of years, has been part of the touring group, and has been the youth leader of the touring group, as well as leading the youth commission last year. And the student is Henry Kervick, and he's a 5th grader at Cornwall School and has been playing violin since kindergarten. And he takes fiddle lessons with Romy and does Suzuki violin lessons with Emily Sunderman in the Vermont Youth Strings program. And he really likes trad music and he really likes Scandinavian tunes. And 2 of them will be playing Feston, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that properly, which is a Danish tune, and then another Swedish tune, which I'm not going to try to pronounce the name of because it's very long. And they've been working on harmonies together in Scandinavian music. So here we go with Romy and Henry.
All right, that was amazingly great. Thank you, Henry and Romy. Great to see you both. I'm used to seeing Romy a lot, and I haven't seen her much in the past year, so it's really great to see and hear you and see what you're doing with as a teacher. It's great. Henry, great playing. Hope to see more of here and see more of that from both of you. Okay, so we got one more segment that I'll introduce here shortly, and then we're going to do the contest announcements. Then we'll continue on with some more segments. So the first, the next segment, this is going to feature Avery Ryan, who's 13 years old. She plays fiddle, mandolin. She writes her own music. She lives in East Montpelier, and she and fiddler and teacher Joanne Garton, they've spent a lot of time together on Zoom, haven't we all, over the past year, and they're really delighted to be able to learn some tunes and play together, that you'll see shortly. Now that the weather is warmed up just a wee little bit. I saw some snowflakes this morning actually at my house, so we're getting there, but it's not warming up too dramatically. Here they're going to play two popular session tunes, The Salvation by Simon Bradley and Calliope House by Dave Richardson from Northumberland. You can find more information about Joanne on her website, joannegarton.com, JoanneGarton.com. And she can connect you with Avery if you're interested. So here we go. Avery Ryan and Joanne Garton.
Hi, I'm Joanne Garton.
And I'm Avery Ryan.
We play fiddle together in central Vermont.
And we're going to play a tune called The Salvation. Hi.
Hi. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So this is Calliope House.
2, 3, 4.
That was great to hear. Don't we all wish we could play music together with each other like that, like Joanne and Avery just did? And we will be doing that soon because it'll soon be, well, it is warm enough most of these days, except for today, like Mark said, a little bit of snow. I saw some snowflakes too. So now we are going to announce the winners of the contest. We had, as I mentioned earlier, our contest finals earlier today, where we showed the videos from the 10 finalists who made it into the second round of voting. And there have been 3 final winners who've been selected, and some of them don't even know that they are the winners yet. So if they're tuning in, it'll be, I wish I could see their faces and how surprised they might be. So you can do a drum roll in your head if you want, or drum roll on your lap. We have our third place winner is Owen Kennedy. Do a round of applause. This is the part that I miss. I can't do applause for everybody. I can't hear the applause in the crowded auditorium, but I will pretend that everyone's applauding loudly. Owen is a 15-year-old fiddler from Maine, whose love of traditional music and enthusiasm for performing has charmed audiences across the country. And he has been, I'm not sure if he still is in the YTV touring group. I believe he is. He is in the YTV touring group, yes. And so he's traveled to the Shetland Islands, overseas with the touring group. He's traveled all over New England. He's been playing violin for 11 years, and he plays with a bunch of different groups, including the touring group, the Pineland Fiddlers, and the Maine Folk Co-op. He's a student of Seán Heely and Ellen Goller. I think you might see him play later in this concert, in the mentor student concert with Seán. So congratulations, Owen, for getting third place. You absolutely deserve it. Mark, over to you to tell us who the second place winner was.
Sure, and congratulations to Owen. I hope he's doing well where he is. So second place goes to the Carter Girls in New Brunswick. Yay. They're fiddle players, guitar players, piano players, accordion players, and they play a variety of genres, Celtic, country, folk, etc. New Brunswick, of course, is in Canada for anybody who needs that reference. They perform for local events and fundraisers around the Maritimes. And along with playing Celtic and old-time fiddle tunes, they also compose their own music. And they did a debut album last summer. You should get your hands on that. It's really a lot of fun, joyous, fun music. And anyway, that CD includes 7 original compositions they put together. All right, so congratulations to the Carter Girls. Those who know country music know that you will appreciate the fact that when somebody says the Carters, I have to say, which Carters do you mean? Now that I know the Carter Girls in New Brunswick, they could be talking about them or the Carter family in Virginia. Back to you, Yasin.
Thanks. So our first place winner, we are fortunate enough to have with us live right now, and they're going to play a tune for us, and we'll have a little bit of a talk with them. Our first place winner of the 2021 YTV annual contest is Nora Brown. Nora.
Hey, thank you so much. I didn't know I was going to play a tune. I don't have my banjo with me.
That's okay. You don't have to play a
So
tune.
sorry.
We can just talk about you and your music, and we can show the video that you submitted to the contest. That is totally fine. Yeah.
I'm really sorry. I didn't know that. Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started with traditional music?
Sure, yeah. Well, I'm Nora. I'm 15 years old, and I started playing like old time music when I was 6 years old. I live in Brooklyn, New York, so it appears like old time music might be hard to find, but that's actually it's quite different than you would expect, because there's actually a pretty large old time music scene up here. So I've been happy to be able to be a part of that for the last few years. But I started playing ukulele when I was 6, and a bit by accident actually found this teacher who really only no, I'm in the middle of a Zoom meeting. 1 second, please. Oh, sorry. Okay. So a bit by accident, kind of started learning from this man, Shlomo Pesco, who really only taught old time music. So I ended up just, learning old times from a young age, where at that point I really didn't know how special or unique the music was. And it was just kind of like, this is ukulele music. I don't know. I'm just trying to, explain it a little bit. But, and I've been playing banjo since I was 10. I put out my first album in October of 2019. It's called Cinnamon Tree, and I'm working on something right now. Hopefully it'll get out around fall of this year. And this was so exciting. Definitely less nerve-wracking than performing in front of judges, but still got some of that same feeling, It was nice to have some of that adrenaline. Haven't had that in a long time, so that was very, really nice.
Well, it was really good to hear your video. Where can we find your album, Nora?
The one that is out now is actually sold out in its vinyl form, which is the main way that we were distributing it. But I do have download codes, and they actually come with like a liner note and a little package, so it's kind of fun. But you can actually get those from my record label, which is Jalopy Records. So on their Bandcamp, you can purchase download code and stuff. And you can also get it through me on my website, which is norabrownmusic.com. And there's a little store section where you can check that out if you're interested.
Awesome. Well, I just want to ask, you started on ukulele, but why banjo? What got you into banjo in particular? Was it just that there happened to be people around who taught banjo, or that just banjo charmed your ear?
Yeah, I mean, learning from Shlomo Pesco, who was my first teacher, I'll just paint a little picture for you. He lived in this small apartment in Brooklyn, and to go into his house, you'd squeeze through like a small like hallway, like instrument cases on one side falling out of closets, and like stacks of CDs and old field recordings. And then you walk in, there's like instruments on stands, like surrounding little seats where we would sit to learn. So I was often seeing banjos, he had a lot of like banjo hybrid instruments, like banjo guitar, banjo mandolin, all that kind of stuff. So I was often seeing those instruments, and even when like we would learn a tune, like when most teachers, if they're multi-instrumentalists, especially in old time music, sometimes they'll play a different instrument from the one that they're teaching you to kind of demonstrate that collaboration that's so common in just old time music. So I think maybe specifically teachers teaching traditional music, that's something often that will happen. So he was playing banjo with me, and I would hear that. I was also seeing it, like I said. So I actually went to banjo ukulele first, which my Shlomo thought was like, a good pathway to kind of ease up to it, and allowed me to like get familiar with the sound of the instrument, So yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's the natural progression, I think. Ukulele to banjo, and then banjo. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us live. It's good to see your face and interact with you, because I've seen only through videos.
Totally. Likewise. Yeah, thank you so much. And congratulations to everyone who participated. And I look forward to seeing some of the performances after this. Yeah,
Thanks, Nora. Now we'll show the video that you submitted to the contest.
This next tune I'm about to play for you is actually one I got from Lee Sexton, and I'm sure many of you know recently passed away. And I've been fortunate enough to spend some time with Lee, and I've learned so much from him. Yeah, I'm very grateful for that. Yeah, all right.
Makes you fly so high. It's because I'm a true birdie, and I don't care to die. Makes your back so blue. It's because I've been grieving after you. Sing to me your song. Got a short time to stay here and a long time to be gone. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you again, Nora, for being here in person with us. And congratulations on winning that contest. And congratulations to everyone else who was part of the contest and who made it such an amazing event, who made it so hard to choose and rank videos and say who your favorite was. That was very hard. All right. So we will now keep going with our mentor student showcase. But I will mention that we often have our contest winners back as guest performers the next year. So maybe Nora will be back to play as a guest in next year's contest finals. That would be pretty amazing. So our next mentor student group that is going to be shown is Honey in the Hive, which is actually a family band. They come from Cornwall, Vermont, and it's Andrew Munkres and Kristin Bolton, and then Ben and Romy Munkres. And Romy you saw playing fiddle with a student earlier. They've been a family band playing together for 12 years. They've been playing in their music nook at home and also out and about for dances and concerts. Romy and Ben were winners of the 2018 YTV contest, and they've both been in the Young Tradition Vermont touring group for several years and have performed in Ireland, Cape Breton, Scotland, New York City, and other virtual stages through that group. And family bands like this, I've been watching them perform at this event and in other places for ever since I've been involved with YTV, and family bands are special. I think there's a special sound that you get from growing up together and playing music together and having your music develop with your family. So I hope you enjoy Honey in the Hive.
Hello everyone, we are Honey in the Hive, and we are a family band. And thanks so much to Mark Sustic for putting this virtual showcase together. We've really enjoyed playing in it, and it's been a fun occasion to bring some new tunes. So Ben is bringing a new tune to us.
Yeah, the first tune is called the Carrie Polska, and I learnt it from an album called Trails and Traces by a Danish accordion player.
Next we're going to play a couple of reels. One is a Scottish reel called The Lady McKay's, and the second one is an old time tune called Sandy Boys.
All right, Honey in the Hive. Never get tired of hearing that group. In sort of I was going to say normal times, but we don't know really what's normal anymore. Pre-pandemic times, you'd be finding them playing at a regular dance in Cornwall at the town hall. They'd be out doing all kinds of things. We'd be traveling somewhere during late April with a touring group, most likely. We did lots of traveling together in various wonderful places, which hasn't been possible the last couple of years. So anyway, thanks all of you. Great to see you. So next up, we've got another set of music and a teacher and two students. And this teacher is Oliver Scanlon, who's running he's picked up how to do many things all at once. And he's still running the videos for us here, but he's also got these students that he's going to feature. Oliver started playing fiddle when he was in fourth grade at the Lake Champlain Waldorf School, and he's now 25. So you can figure out how long he's been playing. He plays fiddle, mandolin, viola, guitar, foot percussion, vocals. He does that professionally with Pete Sutherland and the group Pete's Posse, which, by the way, I want to mention, we've got several sponsors, and Pete's Posse as a trio with Tristan Henderson, Oliver, and Pete individually are sponsors of the festival this year. So thanks you guys for that. Oliver is also on the board of directors for the Northeast Heritage Music Camp and Young Tradition Vermont. And he's the artist leader for the Young Tradition Touring Group. And he besides all of that, he does, when it's called for, a sound engineer, and he began working at the local violin shop, the Burlington Violin Shop, Vermont Violins, which recently, just this past week, moved from downtown Burlington to a new location in Williston. Whew, that's a lot of stuff, Oliver. And his two students, I'm just going to mention them both here. I know they're in separate segments, but Bjorn Peterson, he's 13 years old. He's a fiddler. He goes to Hunt Middle School in Burlington. He was 5 years old when he first began playing the fiddle and taking lessons with Sarah Hotchkiss, which we saw earlier. And he's now been taking lessons with Oliver for about 2 years, I guess, and particularly enjoys playing Quebecois tunes, and particularly fast ones, I guess. And then Sylvan Franklin is 16 years old. He goes to Burlington High School. He began playing the fiddle when he was around about 5 years ago. I think I remember him from trad camp a few years ago. I'm not sure, but and he was inspired by hearing some traditional music when he was about 11. He now particularly enjoys playing Irish and Quebecois music on the fiddle, and which he inherited from his great uncle. Great story. And Sylvan is Oliver's longest serving current student, and he'll be taking his 100th lesson with Oliver shortly if he hasn't done it already. So there you go, Oliver Scanlon playing with Bjorn Peterson and Sylvan Franklin.
Hello, Mark. Hey, everybody. Good to be a part of this this showcase concert. I'm Oliver Scanlon. This is my longest running student, Sylvan Franklin. We hope you're enjoying the rest of the concert. And we're currently enjoying two squirrels running around a tree right over there, and it's a bit of fun indeed. They seem to be having. So we'll have a little bit of fun here with a couple of tunes in the Irish style. The first one is written by a buddy of mine named Chris Craig,
called The Sinking Ship,
and we'll take that one into an Irish reel
called Into the Tap Room.
1, 2, 3, 4. Hi again, it's Oliver for video number 2 for the YTV Trad Student Teacher Showcase. Really glad once again to be with you. This is Bjorn Peterson. He's my student of 3 or 4 years, and this past year he decided to join the Young Tradition Vermont touring group, which I was really excited about. And I hope he's had a good time. We just finished our virtual tour, if Mark hasn't mentioned that already tonight. And we've got a couple of tunes for you.
Mm-hmm.
What are they?
Barter's Hill and Road to Glantain.
That's right. Yeah. Nicely played. Thanks very much.
That was great. Hurrah for duo fiddles. Thank you to Oliver and his students for putting that together for us. Our next act is going to be Dylan Pelletier, who is a 5th grader who's been playing fiddle with his teacher, Sarah Blair, for 4.5 years. And he's a multi-instrumentalist. He also plays, in addition to fiddle, electric guitar, trombone, drums, mandolin, and ukulele. Gosh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's 6 different instruments, counting the fiddle. That's amazing. And he's in a band with 4 other young trad players led by fiddler Joanne Garton, who you saw earlier in Montpelier. And Sarah Blair is an Irish fiddler who's taught and performed for 30 years and was a leader of the Irish music session in Montpelier at Badito's. And I miss playing tunes with her every Saturday at that session. She's recently relocated from Montpelier to South Burlington. So you'll get to hear them both play, and hope you enjoy it. Here we go.
1, 2, ready, go.
All right, Sarah and Dylan, fantastic. Loved it. I should say that all of these, whoops, we have another tune. I butted in. All right, Dylan Pelletier and Sarah Blair, thank you both for playing. I butted in too early before, but still appreciate what you've done and your contribution to this. I was about to say, and I'll say it now that I remember, that most of these mentors or teachers are available for lessons if you wanted to talk to them about that. And one way that you can find out about many of them is to go to the Young Tradition Vermont website, youngtraditionvermont.org, and there's a directory in there of instructors. I can't guarantee everybody we're seeing tonight is listed there, but most of the local folks are. And if you need contact information, you can leave a message in the chat. So don't go too far. We've got several more things coming up. Seán Heely and Owen Kennedy coming up next. David Gusakov, Pete Sutherland, Becky Tracy, the Young Tradition Youth Commission, and the Young Tradition Touring Group, all coming up yet. So next up, we've got Seán Heely, who's a champion fiddler and singer. He's one of the most creative and versatile young artists on the scene today. He was the US National Scottish Fiddle Champion. He's an award-winning Irish fiddler as well, and he's a singer in the kind of folk Gaelic traditions of Scotland and Ireland. He's performed with traditional music folks like Liz Carroll and Bonnie Rideout, and he continues to share his own Celtic heritage with audiences around the globe. He has this to say about working with Owen, quote, "It gives me great pleasure to share the rich music and heritage of Scotland with a student as talented and dedicated as Owen. There are few fiddlers that I've met that have such a keen passion for learning, and he is truly a sponge for all that I share with him. I'm so proud of his work thus far and cannot wait to see where he goes with it." End quote. Owen Kennedy, those of you who saw the contest finals this afternoon, saw him play, and he won the third place prize for the finals this year. He's 15 years old. He's from Maine. He has a love of trad music and an enthusiasm for performing. He's played from San Diego to the Shetland Islands and all over New England. He's a member of the Young Tradition Touring Group that you'll see a little bit later. He's been playing violin for 11 years. He performs solo, and as well as with not only the touring group, but the Pineland Fiddlers and also the Maine Folk Co-op. And Seán Heely is his teacher, and he also has a teacher, Alan Goller, in Maine. He has this to say about working with Seán. "I've been working with Seán Heely for about a year now, and I've learned so much about the Scottish style, history, ornamentation, and technique. Seán has shared so many super awesome tunes with me, from Neil Gow and J. Scott Skinner to his own compositions. He's a fabulous teacher and fiddler, and I really enjoy my lessons with him." So without anything further, Seán Heely and Owen Kennedy.
Awesome. Hurrah again for duo fiddlers. That sounded amazing. And I wish I could have seen it live in person. So our next act that we're going to have is where you'll see a couple of different videos, one from the mentor and one from the student. And the teacher is David Gusakov. He's a longtime member of the Vermont Symphony and has performed over the past several decades in a wide variety of styles with many different bands. And he loves teaching, and his students explore classical, Irish, Scottish, swing, and jazz and bluegrass traditions. And you'll hear him talk a little bit about his teaching in his video. And Heely Stockwell is the student, and she's been playing the fiddle for about 9 years, and she also plays a variety of styles, Scottish, Quebecois, old time, and Irish music, but she loves bluegrass music, and she focuses a lot on that in her private lessons. And she's been in the YTV touring group for 5 years and has traveled and performed in Cape Breton, Scotland, and New York City. And she also plays trumpet and plays in the CVU Symphonic Winds Band and Jazz Ensemble at her high school. All right, David and Heely, take it away.
Hi, I'm David Gusakov. I've been in Vermont since the mid-70s, playing music all that time of various sorts and teaching as well. And today I'm here as a mentor to Heely Stockwell. She's been studying with me for about 3.5 years. Heely came to me with a very strong background in traditional music as part of Young Traditions, Pete Sutherland's group. And she was interested in learning bluegrass. So we've been doing a lot of work on bluegrass these last 3 years. So some of the technical things we had to work with to get her to move over into bluegrass from traditional were, one of the things was playing notes all of even strength. Some of the traditional music notes are some of them are stronger, some of them are weaker. So we had to get everything kind of out there more up front. We worked on her using fewer ornaments. Took quite a while for her to drop some of those traditional ornaments. Bluegrass has some ornaments, but not nearly as many. We worked a lot on double stops. You know, 2 notes together. And there are double stops in traditional music, but there are a lot more of them in bluegrass. We worked on improvisation. You know, if you're playing in a bluegrass band, you might play the melody as it's written the first time it comes around to you, but the second time you don't want to play exactly the same thing again, as you might do more in traditional music. So she's been working very hard on her improvising skills, and they're coming along just great. We also worked on, if you are a band member, a bluegrass band member, you have different roles to play. So at times you might be accompanying a singer or another instrumental soloist. You want to learn how to back up using chops on offbeats. And how to tastefully put in fills here and there. So if there's a singer and they're holding on a note, you might add, you know, little flourishes that add to the music. And that was kind of new for her too. And then the song she's going to be playing is Rawhide. This is a Bill Monroe, very fiery instrumental. And I'd like to just go over a few of the things that are particular to Rawhide that we've been working on. So one is the intro, and a lot of times bluegrass tunes kick off with this kind of, these 3 chops at the beginning. And Rawhide adds double stops to that. And another aspect of bluegrass playing you might have heard just there was the slides. There are a lot of slides in bluegrass, kind of borrows from blues, jazz traditions. And there's plenty of that you'll hear in Rawhide. Bluegrass music instrumentals usually have kind of what we call an outro or a tag ending. It's usually after the main body of the tune ends, the band kind of stops and you hear this two-part fill. And there are a lot of different ways to do it, but one is like and there are an endless number of variations on that kind of a theme. So she'll probably be doing that in Rawhide. Rawhide has a big section of shuffles. So shuffles are double stops with string crossings. And there are lots of different ways to do them, and you can get fancier with the rhythm. And you can add other notes. So you're going to hear some of that in Rawhide. And I think that pretty well covers the gamut of things. I know she's got some improvisation going in here, so I'm sure you're going to enjoy it.
Hi, my name is Hadley Stogwell. I'm a student of David Gusakov's, and today I will be playing a fiddle break from Bill Monroe's version of Rawhide. Thank you.
All right, Hadley and David, thank you so much for doing that. Hadley's been part of the touring group and the youth commission, and I've spent a lot of time around her. It's really great to hear her playing another style of music and doing it so well. That's great. So when I moved to Vermont in the mid-70s to go to graduate school and brought a fiddle along, somebody I knew in Ann Arbor said, you have to meet 3 people when you go there. One of them was David Gusakov, which I'm glad I had the chance to connect with him. And then Louis Baudouin, who might have been the first one I bold enough went over to his house. And the third one was Pete Sutherland. Has been a good friend and inspiration during the entire time since I've gotten here. I was aware of him before coming here. So his music gets around. He's played for thousands of dancers from Alaska to Central America. He's also perhaps the only old-time fiddler whose original compositions have been heard on Car Talk and Hearts of Space. Not too many people can say that. Pete is probably the only one. Since the turn of the most current century, he's dedicated much of his professional career to off-road time, to teaching and mentoring local youth on fiddle, banjo, guitar, theory, composition, and musicianship. And he's many of the folks that are part of this under with other people involved have been influenced by Pete and his teaching. His student today that he's working with is Winslow Solomon. Winslow's been playing clawhammer banjo for 5 years, 4 of those with Pete. This year he began studying with Brad Kolodner as well. He also plays fiddle. He joined the touring group when we did the tour in 2019 in New York. And he plays violin for the Vermont Youth Philharmonia. And he lives in Richmond and he attends the Vermont Common School. So here is Winslow Solomon and Pete Sutherland.
This is Winslow Solomon and his former teacher and colleague now, Pete Sutherland. We're in Richmond, and that's the Falls of Richmond, famous in banjo fiddle lands, and we're finding it irresistible to play that tune. So that's what we're going to do, an old modal tune. Winslow studied with me actively for quite a few years. On the fiddle and the banjo, and then kind of fell into concentrating on the clawhammer banjo, at which he excels, and he is now studying with my friends Brad Kolodner from Bolton. So can we go Falls of Richmond? I'll give it up to you. Winslow and Pete here, and in Richmond, Vermont, the home of Winslow Solomon. studied with me for about 4, maybe 5 years, not quite sure, and was really concentrating on clawhammer banjo repertoire and technique. At this point, studying with Brad Kolodner of Baltimore, thanks to Zoom, and we're now moved into the People's Key of D. Fiddle and banjos coexist there for forever and ever. And we have a tune that we both enjoy a lot, which I taught him from Gary Harrison and the Indian Creek Delta Boys, who played a lot of Illinois tunes. And I had no name for this tune, so we just call it the Illinois tune. Okay. So I'll just kick it right now.
Thanks, Pete and Winslow. That sounded wonderful. And I really liked the dog in the background too. Good, very good audience member that dog was. So our next act is Rose Jackson and Becky Tracy. Rose fell in love with fiddle while listening to her dad's tall stack of New England contra CDs, contra dancing. And she met Becky Tracy one autumn afternoon, not too long after, and a decade and a half later, here they are, playing some classic contra dance tunes. And Becky Tracy comes from a line of people who are musical and in the dance scene. Her grandparents were active in the dance scene in Boston in the 1930s and were involved in the early years of the New England Folk Festival Association. And Becky's parents met through dancing and were leaders of community dances for many years. And Becky herself started playing contra dance music in Maine, and she has classical training and also has studied Irish fiddling styles with Brendan Mulvihill and Eugene O'Donnell, and French Canadian fiddling with Lisa Ornstein. And she is a defining presence in some of the most popular contra dance bands in New England, such as Wild Asparagus and Nightingale. So I hope you enjoy Becky and Rose's little performance here.
Hi everyone. It's an honor to be able to do this mentor-mentee concert, to be part of it. I've always wanted to be part, so I'm grateful that we are able to do this year. Rose Jackson and I have spent the pandemic on and off looking at old tunes, and so whenever we've been in the same area, we have gotten together in my patio or on Zoom or at the graveyard to explore chestnuts and lots of B-flat tunes. And it's been a trading situation, not just, I've definitely taught her a lot of tunes, but we've also traded back and forth. This set that we're about to do is in honor of a mentor of mine, Walter Weber, who used to live up in the Burlington area. Walter was a mentor of mine when I was about Rose's age, long time ago. He played with the Bog Carrots, and he had just a lovely, driving yet lilting, just wonderful fiddle style. And he taught the last tune to me, for which I have no name, a B-flat tune. So always, I would welcome the name if anyone has it. So these are Batchelders and the Mountain Ranger and the tune from Walter Weber. 1, 2, 3. it's really been a joy to get to play tunes with Becky. I mean, for a while, but also especially recently when we've been working on this old tunes project. And so this next set of tunes is 3 more classic tunes, Quindaro, the opera reel, which is one of my favorites, and Money Musk. And we thought it would be fun to include a little taste of another mentor to many people in this set. So Becky and I both play harmony on a couple of these tunes, and we're hoping that there's a little taste of David Kaner in there somewhere. So I hope you enjoy. 1, 2, 3.
Rose Jackson and Becky Tracy, everyone. I believe that Rose was on a road trip when she did her part of the video. So you might notice that her backgrounds look not very Vermonty, and that is why. So coming to you from various places outside of Vermont, inside Vermont and outside Vermont. We are on our final stretch here with a couple more videos and a raffle that we'll be doing a drawing for. And the next video that you'll see is of the Young Tradition Youth Commission for this year, which is led by Maeve Fairfax. The other group members in the Youth Commission are Hadley Stockwell and Ben Munkres, both of whom you saw earlier in different parts of this concert, and Anya Hardy-Mitchell and Emerson Zealous. And all of them are part of this year's Young Tradition touring group as well. They are learning from mentors Moira Smiley, Deb Flanders, Dominique Dodge, and Pete Sutherland to prepare for performances and an end of the year CD and release concert for the Youth Commission that they're going to have in August. And Maeve was featured in a Kids Vermont article in February, and everyone performed at a CD release event for last year's Youth Commission that was led by Romy Munkres. That event was in January. And Maeve and Romy presented the project online at the Flurry Festival from Saratoga Springs. And then other performances that the Youth Commission has done include opening sets for the touring group and at the Middlebury Town Hall Theater and for the Black Creek Fiddlers reunion near Albany, New York. And in addition to YTV and friends, family, neighbors, and mentors, the Youth Commission project has support from the Nelson Family Foundation and a linkage with the Vermont Folklife Center's apprenticeship program, which you'll learn a lot more about tomorrow at the festival's tribute concert at 3 p.m. And if you're interested in CDs of the Youth Commission after you see this video, then you can get in touch with Mark and he will tell you how to get a CD. So here is the Youth Commission for 2020 and 2021.
Oh, what a glorious waves abound with blessings till the goodness comes the year. And I'll sing hallelujah, and you'll sing hallelujah, and we'll all sing hallelujah when we arrive at home.
All right, that was the Young Tradition Youth Commission, 2020, 2021. They're not done yet. We've extended the deadline for that group to finish up their work in August to August. Usually would end in May or June, but we're going to stretch it out to August. Lots of reasons for doing that. We got the inspiration for that on a trip to Scotland when there was a group there that was an organization there that was had a commission. And so we came back with that idea and implemented it here in Vermont. So each year a young musician is commissioned to create an ensemble and create a repertoire and do performances and then have a final project. So that's what we've done. And Maeve has done a great job with it this year with her mentors and her bandmates. So we got one more set of music to come. But before that, we have this violin, this Richelieu violin donated by Vermont Violins. Amazing instrument. It's been haunting me sitting here in my office among other instruments that aren't played enough. But anyway, it's sitting, it's ready to be played, ready to be passed along to somebody else. You should go and visit Vermont Violins and thank them for donating this to us and making it possible. It's our fundraising this year was a narrow scope of the raffle and raising money that way. And then also we had a sponsor banner. And thanks for all the contributions to that. And you'll see the results shortly. So because it's a little unseemly for me to reach in here and grab a winner, I've asked Deborah to come in. Hello, Deborah. Thanks for being here. Thanks for doing this. So we've got all the tickets in here. Lots of them, lots of generous folks who took the chance on taking this violin home. And Deborah's going to reach in and mix them around a bit and pick the winner out. Hope it's you. If you bought a ticket, of course you can't win if you didn't buy a ticket. And you can take this lovely violin, or we can get it to you. The deal this year is that the person who wins the violin will have it played for them by one of the group members who's closest geographically and can play the fiddle. I don't know if you got all that, but the idea is that it would be delivered by somebody in the group. All right, what's going on in there?
All right, this is it.
Corey Matos. Corey Matos is the winner. He or she does not have to be here. They don't have to be here to claim. So we'll be in touch with them and we'll pass it along. Thanks, Deborah. Corey's going to appreciate your selection of his ticket. Thank you all for making the contribution. I know many of you just want to support the organization and support this project. So I really appreciate that. So next up, the last thing on the program tonight is the Young Tradition Touring Group from 2020, 2021. This project got started in the early 2000s when we did a couple of trips with fiddleheads, dared to travel and spend the night and a few days in a week. In one case, we went to the Catskills, to the Irish Arts program there, and then we went to Jerry Holland's fiddle camp 1 week up at Cape Breton. It sort of gave us a taste of traveling around and doing that. And then we hosted for 2 years, 2012 and 2013, a large group, 45 to 50 young people from Northumberland in England. And they challenged us at the end of the second year that they came to come and visit them. So in fact, we did that. We started working rehearsals in 2013, traveled there in 2014, and have since been to Ireland and Cape Breton and Scotland and New York City and other places. In the last 2 years, we've had to not travel, but we've kept the group going. And last week we did a virtual world tour. We went to all those places I mentioned, plus Sweden and the Hudson River Valley in New York and Japan, and had a great time. Surprisingly fantastic. I don't know why I would say it was surprisingly, but I had my worries that maybe doing more things remotely was not going to be rewarding, but it was. Everyone had a great time, and talk to a group member if you'd like to know more about it. So you're going to see two videos, two programs that Mark Zealous produced these videos. Oliver Scanlon, again, who is organizing these videos and the transitions. He was the artist leader this year. Fern Tamagini O'Donnell and Hilary Menegas Weitzner were youth artist leaders. And they came up with great material to sing and to play. And we're going to hear them now, one after the other. So thanks again. I'll come back and say, Yazi and I'll come back and say a few things at the very end.
so high his hair is brown, just about the best thing in this town. Yes, every day and Sunday too, I go to see my pearly blue. Before you hear the rooster crow, you seem to headed down the road. Now his old man, he owns the farm, from the hog lot to the barn, from the barn to the rail. He makes his living by carrying the mail.
Well, every time I get the blues, I walk the soles right off my shoes. I don't know why I love her so, that gal of mine lives down the road.
Well, now I'm staring at my phone, waiting to hear that good old tone. He turns south to the farm, we'll go skipping there arm in arm. Well, when I reach that old front door, I come running from the store, carrying the cocoa, the sugar, and the flour, whip up a cake within the hour. Now anytime you wanna know where I'm going, it's down the road. Get my partner on the line, you'll find me there most any old time.
Well, there you have it, folks. That was the last act of the Mentor Student Showcase, part of the Young Tradition Festival this year. Thank you so much to everybody who contributed videos, all the contestants in the contest, to the students and the mentors and all of those musical and dance support systems that are a part of our traditional music community in Vermont and beyond. And thank you to Mark for being the main mover on putting this festival on, and to Oliver for doing sound and tech and videos and saving us when we have lost the video file or don't know how to share something on the screen. Thank you for being there. And also a big thank you to all of the sponsors that are supporting this festival. And I think Mark can share that sponsor banner again so you can see all of their names, but we couldn't do it without the sponsors. And also thank you to our audience. We are here for you, and this wouldn't be part of the trad music cycle, the living tradition that it is, without the audience and the listeners. So thank you all. And I will mention that tomorrow we have the next part of Young Tradition Festival, which is our tribute concert. And tomorrow that tribute concert features the apprenticeship program that the Vermont Folk Life Center puts on. And that will be another wonderful highlight of mentors and students, but this is more of a committed, studied, a studying partnership that's organized by the Vermont Folk Life Center. And it also, you'll hear more about it if you tune in, but it's not just, the apprenticeship program is not just musicians, it's also master craftsmen of many different crafts. So I hope that you'll tune in to that even for just a few minutes. All right, Mark, I will pass it on to you to say anything else that needs to be said.
Well, thanks to you, Yazi. Yazi's the manager of the Young Tradition Festival this year, and thanks to all of you. It takes a lot to do these events. Sometimes you don't. I mean, it's sort of like an iceberg. You see what's on top, but there's a huge amount of stuff that goes into it year round to try to make it happen. And we were determined not to just let it go this year, to do this much. And really glad we did. You couldn't have done it without Yazi and without Oliver and all the contributors. Your attendance helps support this. Your contributions help. Again, our link is paypal.me/YT Vermont. And also, as Yazi said, all the sponsors, and you see the list there in front of you. Couldn't done it without all of those pieces coming together. It's a transition time for Young Tradition Vermont. The touring group, I'm personally not going to be managing the touring group anymore, and we need a manager to continue the project. So if you have any interest in that, you want to talk to me about it, please let me know. I'd be glad to talk to you about it. And as I transition out of being executive director, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to be the manager of that program or Young Tradition Vermont as the executive director, but I'll still be around and helping and contributing and getting in people's way, and hopefully being of some use in the future. So thanks again for being here. We'll see you tomorrow at 3 o'clock, same place, different time, different day.